First thing you're going to need to do to make sure that you're going to be able to use one of the wireless slates with your computers, you're going to need to make sure that it's actually installed. To do this, the first thing that you're going to actually need to do is you're going to need to open up the back, and there's a little slot that actually slides open, and underneath of this you can see that there's a piece of foam that you'll be able to pull out. Underneath the foam is actually the communication device you're going to need to plug into the computer. It's just a little, kind of like a flash drive that you stick into the computer, but this is actually what's going to communicate back and forth between your computer and the wireless slate. So what you're going to need to do is take this little USB device, you're going to need to plug it into the computer. Again, it can kind of go into any port that you want. For this example, I'm just going to plug it into the front of this computer. Now, one thing that I've found is that they kind of push hard into the desktop computer, so don't be afraid to push into your USB port. Once you have it pushed in, you should be able to see it's starting to flicker a little bit and flash. That's letting you know that there's power going to that little USB device that you've plugged in. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check on the slate itself. You can put the cover back on, it's up to you. That way you don't lose anything. What you're going to want to do is on the front, you can see that you have a power little light, and you also have a light that will show you your wireless signal. To turn this on, you're going to need to turn it on from the circle to the line. And you're going to be able to see that at first it starts to blink green in an orange color. It's trying to find right now that wireless signal, but since that little USB device that we plugged in is not installed, it's not going to find anything, and eventually it'll turn to red like it just did. This means that it's not installed and it cannot communicate back and forth with your computer because it is not yet installed. What you're going to need to do is on your computer, in the bottom right hand side of it, and I've kind of made it big for you to see, but it'll be located down here in this tray. On the bottom right, there's going to be a blue icon for you, and it's right here in the center. You're going to need to click on this little blue icon to open up your USB, or sorry, your Bluetooth devices. So once you double click on this, what you're actually going to end up seeing is you're going to see a little window that says Devices, Options, and then a couple other tabs that are kind of irrelevant to what we're going to need to do. But once you're on the Devices tab, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to click on Add. Once you've clicked on Add, a window is going to pop up and ask you to make sure that your wireless slate is in the discoverable mode. To make sure that it's in the discoverable mode, I'll show you what you need to do. Again, the light's still red, but on the back of the slate, what I can do is there's a black button that says Connect. What I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to push that. It might be easiest just to use a pencil, or you can use your finger. But once you push it, on the front, what should have happened now, which it didn't, what should be happening once you push the button is it should be blinking green or orange. Again, it should be blinking, so let me push the button one more time. You can see now that after I finally got the button pushed the correct way, it'll start flashing for you. Now that you can have it flashing, that means it's in discoverable mode. So your next thing is on this tab, you need to make sure you click the little button that says my wireless device is ready to be found. I check the box and I click Next. It's going to search for a little bit for this device, which is your wireless slate. Once it has found the device, it will say what the device is, and you're going to have to go through, and you're actually going to have to take a couple more steps on this process. What it says now is it says Smart Slate WS200, which is a new device that it has found. You're going to double click on this device, and it now opens up a screen where it says do you need to use a pass key to add your device. Yes, you're going to need to use a pass key. You have quite a few options. The one that you want to select is use the pass key found in the documentation. If you click that, the white box opens up. You need to type in 4 zeros. Once you type in 4 zeros, click Next. You're going to see that it's connecting and it's also installing Bluetooth devices. Down in the bottom right hand corner it says that it's found new hardware. And now that it says that it's complete and that I can start to use my wireless slate. Click Finish. Now in this devices window that we opened up initially, you can see now that I have the slate where it says passkey enabled, that it's now ready to use. And if I look at the slate, it now has 2 solid green lines, which means the power's on, and it also means that the wireless signal is signaling back and forth to the computer. Easy way to check to make sure: pull out the pin that's on the top and start moving it around. And what you should see on your screen is as you move it around on the Slate, you can see it's actually moving the mouse around on the computer. You're all set. So now if I X out, the Bluetooth device is installed. If I am done using it and I want to turn the power off, you can see now that my lights are off. There's still power going back and forth to the Bluetooth device. This just means basically anytime that I turn on the Slate now, as long as I have that little USB plug into my computer, the Slate should automatically connect. So what I can do is if I turn it on, it should blink green a little bit, and you can see already it's already connected. So again, all I had to do after I installed it is turn the power button on, make sure that that little USB device is plugged in. Should be green. Again, if I move it around on the Slate, you'll see up here on the screen that the mouse is actually moving. So again, this is just how to make sure that your Slate is installed and ready to use on your computer.